Welcome to the Scrapdown. I am your host, Big Bang Mike. It is the online show where we break down the scrap of a very recent fight of a fighter that I've either helped train, trained myself, or otherwise trained with in some way. Today we are breaking down the very recent main event fight of SteelFist Fight Night. Vincent the King Price faces off against a Wyoming fighter, a very talented jiu-jitsu practitioner known as Beck Shields. Now, cards on the table, I didn't train Vincent myself. He actually trains out of the same fight camp that I came out of for my striking, a gym known as One Hit MMA in Layton, Utah, led by Aldo Orasia, who was actually my striking coach when I was fighting actively, led me to several MMA championships, with I'm super proud and happy for. With this particular fight, like I said, Vincent has been a part of this process, has been a part of our program as well. I've had Vincent down more than a few times to train my advanced kids to help test them. In our advanced testing, we actually have our kids spar against professional MMA fighters to help boost and raise their confidence. It is in my opinion that if a kid can hold their own against a professional adult fighter, then there's nothing a bully at school can do for them. And Vincent has always been kind and helping me come down and mentor these young kids and help boost their confidence. So without any further ado, let's use some movie magic and get to the point. All right, once again, this fight is presented without sound as to not step on any of the copyrights and hard work of SteelFist Fight Night. If you do want to see it with sound, feel free to go over to their YouTube channel. I think they have the whole fight card on there. This is Beck Shields. He is a very talented jiu-jitsu artist and striker out of Wyoming, fresh off the win of his last co-main event fight, won that by a impressive flying triangle. And one thing you're going to see here is that Beck Shields is 6'1", which is 4 inches taller than our guy, Vince the King Wright. And what you're going to see Beck wanting to do in this fight, and it's the same thing that most taller, lankier opponents want to do when fighting smaller opponents, is he's going to want to keep our boy Vince on the outside with his straight punches. These are his jabs and his crosses. Consider that jab and cross like a moat when you're trying to storm the castle. You have to get through that moat of alligators in order to get past the good stuff for a smaller opponent. And then once you get past that moat, he's going to try to punish our fighter with knees. Generally speaking, those knees are going to be like the archers and the infantry troops once you pass that moat. Think John Jones versus Daniel Cormier. John Jones likes to keep that length out there to keep his opponents at bay because he has longer arms, and then punish those opponents if they are able to utilize their head movement to get past that. And usually that's done with knees and elbows. So expect to see a lot of long-range punches out of Beck Shields, and expect to see some knees and elbows once that distance is changed. Now, contrary with our fighter Vince, being a shorter or smaller, stockier fighter isn't necessarily a disadvantage. Being smaller, it does mean that he gets to come in with a bit more muscle mass, and his arms and body is more compact to his torso, which makes his rotational torque a lot stronger from a scientific sort of physics point of view. So you're going to see him want to utilize his head work and head movement and footwork to get on the inside, to use that rotational torque and power advantage that he has. You're going to see him want to strike more so to the body. It's a common misconception that you want to headhunt earlier into these movements with the taller opponent, or earlier into these fights with the taller opponent. You actually want to sort of throw to the body more, soften that body up a little bit, so that you can use that motion, that lack of movement to kind of bridge that gap We use the storming the castle analogy with the moat. If you can bridge that distance, so to speak, you have the fight. Tail of the tape here. You could see a bit of a difference there. Both very talented fighters. Vince has an affinity for Muay Thai, much like the last fighter to appear on our podcast, Mike Allen. So watch as he sort of stalks in, sort of tries to close that distance. Muay Thai fighters are famous for their ability to take pain and dissipate energy. Muay Thai fighters can look like they're taking a lot of hits and a lot of power, when actually they are getting touched, but they're dissipating energy a lot. As I said earlier, Beck is a really talented jiu-jitsu fighter. Vince primarily comes out of a striking academy that I'm really familiar with. When it comes to more seasoned professionals instead of amateurs, you're going to see these guys kind of check each other a little bit. It's going to be more of a game of chess to start off, as opposed to running in with nerves and trying to finish off fights really quickly. You're going to see these fighters kind of test each other a little bit, kind of find their range. Beck right there uses the push kick, a very long move, keeping him at the end of that moat, like we were talking about. You're going to see Vince throwing his longest range moves here. This is a very consistent Muay Thai theorem, whereby throwing those kicks can help you understand exactly where your punch distance is. If you understand your body and where you can kick somebody from, you also understand where you can punch somebody from. So this is a way to kind of, for Vince to kind of gauge where he's going. You saw him sort of take a little bit of a knee there, which can look very devastating, but as we discussed earlier, Vince is very good because of his ring and cage work in dissipating a lot of that energy that comes out with a lot of these punches. You see him, instead of just standing there and taking hits, you're going to see him kind of move back and move to the side a little bit. You saw that jumping knee there that Beck likes to go to the well for. He actually took a step and quarter turn movement to allow that to pass, as opposed to just standing there and hoping it doesn't hit him. Vince really using his fight IQ here and bridging that distance and that gap. Beck turns it around here a little bit, tries to get himself a little bit of a Muay Thai clinch, and then realizes that he doesn't want to stand that close to somebody that strong. Using his distance once again, this is what, if I were in Beck's corner, I would be yelling at him to keep our fighter Vince on the cage. Using that distance to be able to pick Vince off, so that Vince can't kind of move around on that cage, is a very good idea for him to use. I would like to see Vince kind of quarter out here. That's exactly what he does, to be able to hit here. You saw another one of those body hits, which is fantastic. Getting close and softening everything up in the body is kind of what Vince wants to do here. He has got very strong hands, but he wants to kind of dissipate the reach of his opponent a little bit more and a little bit better. And the way he's going to do that is by getting that head past those fists of Beck and pummeling that body a little bit more. Beck going in here, closing that distance, punching the body again. Vince being super smart about not going over to the top and taking weak head punches, but throwing punches to the body nice and hard to kind of slow Beck down a little bit and get those arms to not reach out, to be less comfortable in reaching out as far. Beck seems to have done really well early in his striking, but is probably starting to feel the power of Vince just a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if, of course, he kind of drops down to the floor and tries to utilize that jiu-jitsu a little bit more because of the power that the density of Vince is able to wield. Looks like Beck here is going for a heel hook, but notice how he doesn't have his feet crossed and he doesn't have the knee secured for that heel hook. So this is not something that I would imagine Vince is too worried about, that I would like to see him turn his back and try to slip out. Yep, that's what he's going for. Good job. Vince deciding not to take the mount and deciding to actually let him up. Vince is a brawler and a shot caller, so that doesn't surprise me at all. He's a man who likes his KOs, so let's see if we get it. A little bit of an elbow deflect there. Boom! Ooh, there's that big body hit right there. That softens everything up and kind of crumples Beck down a little bit more. Now, what you're going to see here is you can't really train your liver. And that's where that big hit goes. He goes for it again, Vince. And that's going to make it a little bit harder to throw any kind of punches for Beck with any kind of ferocity, with any kind of power. And then bam, there's where that power comes down and hits. And of course, there is the win for the king. Now, a lot of people might think that it's the head hit that won that fight for Vince, and of course, technically speaking, that's what ended that fight. Sort of got Beck to kind of fall down like a tree. But that first sort of body hit, while Beck was trying to maintain that Muay Thai clinch, that first body hit there is what really slowed him down and turned the pace and tone of that fight. As I said, causing him to fall for that tree. And that head hit is a very common tactic that people with longer limbs don't really recognize, that a lot of the times when they throw that cover, because their limbs and their arms are so long, the rear hook kind of hooks in and comes in towards the chin because of the hole that happens with how long their arms are. But very good work out of Vince, very good work out of One Hit MMA, and of course his striking coach Aldo Oragia and his training partner Annan. It's when you are a smaller opponent, you use your head movement and footwork to get in on the inside and then pummel that body. And as you can see, that's where the tides really turned in that fight. That slowed down the length that Beck had and allowed Vincent to get close enough to be able to throw that rear hook that snuck in, not so surprisingly, but targeted through the length of Beck's arms and into that chin, which caused him to collapse and fall down in the first place. So these are basics, guys. Basics are basics for a reason. It's because they work. You can watch this tape back, really study Vincent's footwork, his cornering footwork, his head movement as he gets in, and utilizing his fight IQ and game plan to really pummel that body, to soften up his opponent and bring the length in on his punches a lot more. Once you saw that body hit happen, you can't, like I was saying earlier, you can't train your liver. There's no weights you can lift. There's no sit-ups that you can do that can help that liver get trained. It's an internal organ, not a muscle. And knowing that in the vein of the great boss Rutan, Vincent really takes it and ends up winning this fight. Let's hear them talk about it, though.
Now the door, make some noise for these two, would you? Nothing but love and respect in the cage. Your winner, 4 minutes and 7 seconds into round number 1. By knockout, the king, out of the right corner, Vincent Wright. All right, I'm here with your winner, Vincent Wright. Dude, that was a hell of a fight. You took some heavy shots, that flying knee early in the round.
That was beautiful.
It was, but you have a chin of steel, man. That did not faze you at all. Well, maybe a little, but not enough that it was noticeable, right? You came out and then you landed some big hands over here and got the knockout. How are you feeling right now?
Feel great, man. Beck's a tough kid. I'm 32 years old, bro. COVID took 2 years of training for me, 2 years competing. I should have been a pro. Oh, shout out to Beck. You know, he came out testing me. I knew he was going to come out hard. He's a young kid. And he hit me with some good shit, you know. Shout out to him. But I was just too determined. You know, I went up a weight class. I think I won my last fight in the first round. Shit happened. I ended up getting finished. You know, the weight cut was too hard. But 45, y'all better keep your heads up.
All right, man. Is there anyone you want to thank tonight?
Hey, without these two, literally, I wouldn't be here. I've been in camp with Ammon since I moved to Utah, him and Cole. They're 50 fighters. I started as a 30 fighter. I got bigger because I had to fight these fuckers. Without Aldo, none of this shit happens. I didn't have the best self-belief, you know. Aldo kicked me in the ass, slapped me around. You're going to believe in yourself or nobody else will, so all hats off to these guys.
Hey, having the right gym makes the world of difference, and it looks like you found a place that's really helping you improve and get to that level. Are you going to come back and keep doing this for us?
You know me. How many times I've been here? Hey, my second pro fight this year. I would love to have a third one. Kev, Pat, y'all got my number. If y'all want me back, just shoot boy a text. I'll be back.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. We can't wait to see you come back and do this again. Everyone give it up for your winner, Vincent Wright!
All right, guys. That was your episode of the Scraptown this time around. I have been your host, Big Bang Mike. Once again, if you guys want to see this entire fight card, full sound and everything with the actual announcers instead of my pretty face, you can find SteelFist on YouTube. Thanks again to Vincent the King Wright. Congratulations. Thank you for allowing me backstage and, to interview you and to be part of this entire process. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We will be inviting the King Vincent Wright to our episode of the Post Fight Clink. Probably coming out approximately next week from when this is filmed. We will share a drink. We will go over the fight together. We'll casually chat and have some fun, ask some fun questions as well. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, make sure, once again, you like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you follow everybody on their appropriate sources, including this guy right here. Once again, I have been Big Bang Mike, and thank you for watching.